Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Run it.
Running it. Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. Another great week of NFL football in the books, and we still have a whole lot of season left to go, including a game tonight between the Cowboys and the Giants. If you are looking for a preview of tonight's game, we did include some stuff about this game in our last episode, so you can check that out after this.
Who's you guys rooting for?
Well,
Neither. I hate them both.
We need the Cowboys to win so we could be first in the division.
Facts.
That too. Yeah. Today we are back with Calm or Chaos, talking about some struggling players as always, and of course Trust or Bust, talking about some guys who had big time games. And then we'll wrap up with some waiver targets and a buy low, sell high candidate for each of us. So let's get right into it. A lot of stuff to cover. Big week. Calm or Chaos. Starting at the quarterback position with Q's darling Carson Wentz. 8.64 points, 25 for 43, 211 yards, 3 carries for 22 yards, and of course a fumble lost for Carson.
No
Calm or Chaos?
It was bound to happen.
You're calm because the Eagles D is elite. Like he's going to have these. He couldn't even get a garbage type anything yesterday, so I think he'll be fine moving forward. He has some okay matchups, but yeah, he wasn't getting anything yesterday.
Shut his ass down.
Mm-hmm.
Sacked him like 10 times.
Yeah,
9.
he got eaten alive. But I'm still leaning towards in the middle. Like I don't know if it's full chaos or fully calm. Like I don't think you can ever be fully calm if Carson Wentz is your QB1. So these games are going to happen. We said it after week 2. We said we want to keep seeing it. He looked really good in the first 2 games, and it could continue to happen with garbage time. He did get garbage time in this game because in the first half he was at like negative points. Like it was brutal. So it's ugly. I wouldn't prefer having Carson Wentz as my only quarterback right now.
Hell no.
Wentz or Russ?
I'm leaning towards Wentz, and it's not even a bias thing because I own Russ. So I think I'd rather have Wentz at the moment. There's more upside. I'd rather fucking Marcus Mariota than Russell Wilson.
All right, stop. Russ has been struggling, and we're about to talk about him right now. 9.06 points, 184 yards, 6 carries for 17 yards. Calm or chaos here for Russell Wilson?
Chaos.
The house is crashing down.
Yeah, it's really not pretty, man. It's really not pretty. I think the 49ers defense at least is a respectable defense. So, like, understandable last night, but
it's like
still the first 2 games you should have put up numbers.
Yeah.
The last drive of the game for him when Melvin Gordon scored a touchdown, that was the Russ that I wanted, that I drafted. He looked good that drive because he was moving out of the pocket and whatnot, but everything, he's just getting sacked every other play or throwing it at the ground or throwing it 2 yards to Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams, who are going nowhere. So there could be better days ahead because there's a lot of still new pieces on this team, but it's definitely chaos.
Yeah. I'm definitely leaning towards chaos. Just have a backup plan if you have Russ. Grab somebody out there on waivers now. Don't wait and think like Russ will figure it out. Like he could figure it out, but have that backup plan in place in your mind because it has not been pretty for Russell Wilson. Matt Stafford, the last quarterback we'll talk about here, 10.16 points, 18 for 25, 249 yards. Is this calm or chaos for Stafford?
Dude stinks. I feel like every game he has multiple turnovers, and he'll do something good. The next drive, he'll throw a pick, and it's just he got me all those points. I know, and it drives me crazy.
What happened from last year?
I have no idea.
Probably the arm thing.
I have to believe it's the elbow, like 100%. Like I don't want to blame it on something and say like it's the injury, but
QB I don't care that he broke his elbow.
And Cooper Kupp also did drop a potential touchdown.
Yeah,
stop.
He didn't throw that many passes in this game because he didn't really have to. They were up a ton throughout the entire game. But still, you expect more from Matt Stafford, especially on this team with all these weapons. I'm leaning towards chaos here also. He was QB5 last year. It's seeming like he's probably a low-end QB1 at best this year at this point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Let's move on to some running backs. Ezekiel Elliott is lucky we don't know what happened yet tonight.
Please
he
stay.
could have been here for a
Please
third
stay.
straight week.
I'm calling it.
How's he had 5.9 points both times or both weeks so far. Like, please keep that, or we could do worse tonight, please, for the love of my own team.
He may be chaotic, but we'll have to wait and see for tonight. Let's move on to Darrell Henderson Jr. He did get 50% of the snaps, but only got 1.7 points, 4 carries for 17 yards, and did not catch his lone target. Is this calm or chaos for Henderson now instead of Akers?
It's going to be up and down all season.
Yep, I agree.
Could put both of them right here. Either one's going to be on calm or chaos. The other one's going to be on trust or bust.
Yep, that's facts. I would agree with that. Cam Akers really didn't do much better. He did find the end zone of the two, but he only got 12 carries himself and did lose a fumble. He split snaps 100% even, so like you said, it's going to be one or the other. I'm not really trusting either. I'd rather avoid it if I could.
Yep.
Miles Sanders, 5.4 points, coming down from those first 2 weeks. 15 carries for 46 yards and only 1 catch for 1 target for -2 yards. Is this calm or chaos for Sanders?
I think it's calm. Obviously, you wish that he had more yards and whatnot, but he did get 15 carries, which is second highest so far in the 3 weeks. So he's getting the work. You just, as the Eagles as a whole, you wish they'd score more points in the second half because they've been throwing up donuts.
Yeah, it's playing. Like we fizzle out.
They're just playing like prevent because they blow these teams out in the first half. So Miles Sanders, at least he's getting work. He just needs to be a little more productive.
We should be dropping like 35 a game.
Yeah, I'm staying calm. I'm staying calm as well, but you just want to see more production in the second half, especially when we're up that big. Miles Sanders, you expect to get a ton of work and gain yards. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this game. Better days ahead for sure. Mm-hmm. Packers running backs against the Bucks. Aaron Jones had 5.7 points and AJ Dillon had 5.8. Combined, they were a mid RB2 at best. Is this calm or chaos for both? Either one you're more nervous about?
I'm more nervous about AJ Dillon.
I'm calm on both.
Both of them.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough matchup. They went up against the Bucks. The Packers are going to find their groove eventually. Aaron Rodgers isn't like he did it this game. He had to do it throwing though, but they will both have their days for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this game was like the Packers for like the first 10 minutes, and then it was just awful football for like 3 quarters.
Yep.
Until Brady got that touchdown at the end. So it was ugly all around. I think both of these guys will be fine moving forward. J.K. Dobbins, though, 6 points. He did only play 43% of the snaps, obviously coming back from such a major injury, but he only had 7 carries for 23 yards and caught both of his targets for 17 yards. Calm or chaos here for J.K.
Leave this man alone.
I agree.
Jesus Christ.
Let him come back in peace.
Hey, we're here to tell the people to stay calm they need to stay calm.
That workload is coming.
People might be nervous. They had to wait 3 weeks for this. Some people might be panicking already. We're here to tell them to remain calm on Dobbins. Only 43% of snaps. He will get more of that as he gets healthier.
He's going to be that workhorse.
Agreed. Justice Hill will not be relevant.
No. He was pissing me off.
Last running back here for Calm or Chaos, Alvin Kamara, 7.3 points, 15 carries for 61 yards, 2 catches on 7 targets for 12 yards, and he lost a fumble. Calm or Chaos?
You might as well get suspended.
Yeah,
he's probably
get that shit out the way.
Probably in a candidate for one of the worst like top 2 round draft picks. He's big stinky.
I think it's still too early to fully go chaotic on Alvin Kamara. He missed week 2, so he's only played 2 games, and getting 15 carries and 7 targets in a game from your RB1 isn't like something to be mad about, but you want to just see more production. You want to see him find the end zone. I think better days are ahead for Kamara. I'm still leaning towards calm here. As ugly as it's been, he's still got to be a major piece in this offense.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I might be on the opposite side of the scale on that one, buddy.
I am too, but
see.
I'll hope with everybody.
It's Kamara, though. He could easily have like a 30-point game, and then we're all like, oh, never mind, he's back.
Exactly. I think I'm leaning more towards calm still based on history here. Wide receivers. DJ Moore.
Is trash.
DJ mid.
2.5 points, 1 catch on 6 targets for 2 yards and 2 carries for 13 yards. Calm or chaos?
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
He's riding pine until he shows me he can actually play football again.
Baker should ride pine.
Yeah.
They all should take the fuck off. And they still won yesterday.
Yeah. How? Pissing me off.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards chaos here also. Just can't trust him right now. Baker has ruined DJ Moore at this point.
Really? Has he really ruined DJ Moore?
He's got him 6 targets every game, but like you still can't even get on the same page as him. And every team Baker goes to, the fantasy assets go to shit. Even CMC isn't playing that great. So
it's crazy. We all thought he was going to be like at least somewhat of an upgrade, and it's just even worse.
I think the Panthers as a whole are struggling mightily. So we'll see. Obviously, you're not dropping him, but it's chaos for now. If you have a better starting option, don't be afraid to bench DJ Moore.
Like you'd hope at least Robbie was doing better than him, but he's doing just as bad. So I don't know how they're winning games.
They had a defensive touchdown and a Laviska Shenault 70-yard
ball. Oh my God, Shenault.
Like this team is scoring and barely winning games. It's ugly football all around. The next guy might be even worse. Darnell Mooney, 4.3 points, 2 catches on 6 targets for 23 yards. Calm or chaos?
Chaos.
You've been saying it.
Droppable.
Man.
Not droppable.
Not droppable, but I am so done with Justin Fields in this Bears offense. Darnell Mooney, what do you think his target share was with 6 targets yesterday?
The most on the team.
38%. He got like almost half of the team's targets, and he only had 6. And Kmet led the entire team in receiving yards yesterday with literally 40 yards. Like Justin Fields has attempted 45 passes through 3 games. And Kyler Murray attempted 58 passes yesterday alone.
Dude, Josh Allen had like 62 or something.
Yeah. Exactly. Like if you drafted Darnell Mooney, I feel sorry for you. And I am one that has also drafted him and was a fan of him. I still believe in the talent for Mooney and Kmet, but at this point, man, the Bears are just refusing to throw. They're just scared of Justin Fields throwing. It's bad. But hold him on your bench for the talent.
I feel like there has to be a game where they're just like, you know what, like screw it. Like just go out there, go crazy.
Like they have to or something, but I don't know. They have 2 wins, so something's working apparently. Fuck the Bears.
I hate
poverty franchise.
I hate on Darnell Mooney, but he could be talented. Just
he is talented.
He's not on this team. He's not going to be any good.
Yeah, I mean it sucks. It just sucks. Sucks watching their games. It's brutal. It hurts.
Free Darnell Mooney.
Free Darnell Mooney. Free Cole Kmet. Free everyone except the running backs on this team because they get to feast.
The team.
Next one here, Allen Robinson, 4.3 points, 2 catches on 5 targets for 23 yards.
Chaos. Like this might be the biggest fall off in fantasy of all time.
I'm saying calm.
I'm not saying calm.
That whole offense is still kind of like, I think they're still getting it together. A-Rob's still getting worked in. I think he's going to be all right. I think the whole team's going to come back. They're going to turn it around.
I'm hopeful with you. So. I'm definitely hopeful, but I'm leaning towards chaos because I was already leaning towards chaos on Stafford. Something's up. I mean, Robinson is getting the end zone target, so obviously don't drop him. But if you have another option and you're willing to start somebody else, I wouldn't be scared. Like right now, he feels like a touchdown dependent wide receiver flex.
No, I agree. I wouldn't start him right now, but I would still like to hold on to him.
Yes, definitely. I'm still leaning towards chaos here. Just nervous.
Fair enough.
Justin Jefferson.
Why is this on here?
Chaos.
Why is this on here?
4 points, 3 catches on 6 targets for 14 yards. Only 15 points in the last 2 games. Calm or chaos?
Is this targeted just for Gator?
No, it's calm. It's just to remind people to stay calm. Same way as we were saying with Dobbins. If anyone out there is panic about Justin Jefferson, please go trade for him.
Yes, immediately.
He will be fine.
Is that possible? Like there are people. I mean, I can't even say that because there are people out there who are probably panicking. Gator.
There's people out there that start to worry too early. Don't get Justin Jefferson if you can get him. Obviously, don't give up too much, but get him. Okay. Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, 3.7 points, 2 catches on 6 targets for 17 yards. We are chaotic on Russ here.
He stinks.
What about
chaos?
Chaos for sure.
That one big catch week 1, that's literally all he's done all year.
He was better off sitting out this game to rest up.
I want to say calm just because 59% of the snaps, he's still coming off that game injured, but I'm a little chaotic here also. I was not a huge fan coming into the season. I really hope he can prove me wrong, but I still need to see more before I'm like, yo, Judy's the truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tight ends before we get into some trust or bust. Darren Waller, 5.2 points, 3 catches on 5 targets for 22 yards. Raiders looked pretty bad yesterday. Calm or chaos for Waller?
I think Waller's going to be all right.
What is he on the season? Has he done anything?
I'd be tight end.
I feel like I haven't even heard his name all year.
Tight end 5.
He was actually pretty decent, I think, the first 2 games.
Yeah, first 2 weeks he was
he wasn't
13,
going
15.
off the wall. Yeah, he had 11.9 and then 17 in the first 2 games.
Wow.
His target share has been there. This is the lowest targets he's had for 5. So I think he's still showing he's the second option here. So I'm staying calm for now. But
yeah, super calm.
Still a little nervous. Dawson Knox, 6.5 points, 4 catches on all 4 of his targets for 25 yards in a game where Josh Allen threw how many times? 62?
63.
63? Calm or chaos here for Knox?
Chaos.
He's a bottom feeder on an offense with so many mouths to feed. So it's going to be tough for him to be productive on a weekly basis.
Keep him on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep him on the bench. Don't drop him. But I wanted to see more at this point through the season.
Me too.
From what we saw at the end of last year, would seem like he had a shot to be the real number 2 option here for Josh Allen, and just has not come to fruition. So hold him on the bench if you have another tight end option. If not, keep rolling him out there for 6 to 8 points and hope he finds the end zone soon.
I hope so.
Before we get into trust or bust, let's do today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play fantasy football, and you can get started now with their Monday Night Melee, $25,000 in prizes. They also have contests for baseball, hockey, basketball. They have everything on there. And when you sign up, just make sure you use our code SUPERFB for a 100% deposit match of up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you'll get another $100 matched free, and you'll have $200 to play with. Minimum deposit of $10. And again, our promo code is SUPERFB, SUPERFB. And you can play on the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS and Android, or sign up online at underdogfantasy.com.
Did you say 100% deposit match?
Yes, sir.
What?
Juicy.
Crazy.
That's lots of money.
Check it out for sure.
Check it out.
All right, trust or bust. Let's get a little bit more positive on the show. Let's talk about some guys that snapped this week, starting at the quarterback position with Trevor Lawrence, 31.18 points, 28 for 39, 262 yards, passed 3 touchdowns as well. Also had 22.5 points last week, so all right game last week as well. And 1 turnover on the season. Trust or bust here for Lawrence?
This offenses look good.
Yeah. I'm getting closer to trust.
Immediately plugging him into my lineup, but I'm hoping I have him on the bench as a bye week fill-in, or if he continues doing this and say you have a Russell Wilson or anybody else who's struggling, you could easily plug in Trevor Lawrence. This Jags offense has turned it around tremendously this year. I like it.
But I am going to speak now for the future. He's going to be a bust this weekend.
I agree with that.
Well,
big
obviously.
Time.
Yeah, but
I feel like quarterbacks always come play us on their high horse, and then we just fuck them up.
Yep, I'm ready for it. I'm exactly what Matt said. Trust him for adding to your bench. Maybe not 100% your lineups. Obviously, if you're desperate and lost Dak or Trey Lance and still trying to fill that void, Trevor Lawrence is viable. But yeah, not fully invested, but I'm a believer in the talent. Talk more about him later. Let's get into some running backs here that had some big games. Khalil Herbert, 30.9 points, 20 carries for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 catches on 2 targets for 12 yards as well. If Montgomery misses time, are we obviously trusting here? And if he does not miss time, is there a chance Herbert starts to cut into that work?
Oh, yes.
Those are big trust numbers.
He looked good last year, too. So you knew it was coming into the season. But I guess you want to keep an eye on the reports for Montgomery, because if somehow he's still on your waivers, it depends on how much you're going to spend on him. Because if Montgomery's just day to day, are you really going to spend that much money on a 1 week rental possibly? So I do think he'll have some sort of he'll definitely be a valuable handcuff moving forward.
Yeah. I'm definitely in agreement with that. I think in the offseason we talked about him a lot, especially on that Chicago Bears episode. If you got Montgomery, Herbert was definitely someone you should target, and he was going super late in drafts. So if you're still out there, make sure you pick him up. Maybe don't spend a fat check on him if it's short term, but trust him if Montgomery's out for any period of time.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Similar situation here. Jamal Williams, 24.7 points, 20 carries for 87 yards, found the end zone twice, and 2 catches on 2 targets for 20 yards. Trust or bust here for Jamal Williams.
Trust him for sure.
Trust.
Yeah.
He's a vulture.
Yeah. He was definitely cutting into Swift's workload, but obviously he was banged up. Seems like the most likely scenario is they might hold him out for 2 weeks and then bye week, and then Swift may be back. So we might see a lot more of Jamal Williams. But even before Swift was gone, he was getting maybe like 33% of the snaps and still finding fantasy value. So trust Jamal. If he's still out there somehow in your leagues, please pick him up. But if not, if you have him, you're in good hands. Trust him.
Yep.
Devin Singletary, 24.1 points, 9 carries for 13 yards, which was abysmal, but he did have 9 catches on 11 targets for 78 yards and found the end zone. Trust or bust here for Singletary.
Not trusting.
Yeah, I'm not trusting.
We already discussed Josh Allen throwing the ball 63 times. No way he continues to throw at that pace, and Singletary gets more than, I'd say, 5 targets on a weekly basis.
There's no shot he ever gets 11 targets.
This
ever
was
again.
Once in a blue moon. This was the blue moon. He made the most of it, but just 9 carries for 13 yards is atrocious.
Yeah. I would like to think that this would be something that's going to continue, but 5 targets through the first 2 games and then 11 targets in this game feels like an outlier, feels like a fluke.
Yep.
Definitely a bench running back to hold, but not someone I'm trusting in my lineup. Remandre Stevenson, 20.1 points, the exact same amount of snaps he played last week, but did a lot more with it this week. 12 carries for 73 yards, found the end zone, 4 catches on 5 targets as well for 28 yards. Trust or bust here for Remandre.
I don't even know at this point.
I want to trust him.
I do want to trust him, but it's the Patriots' backfield is always up and down. It's never consistent. So you're going to be facing that headache all year.
Yep. And Damien Harris essentially got relatively similar work as well. So it's no guarantee that this continues, but the volume was decent. Snap shares a little bit more in his favor. I'm not trusting fully, but
I mean, they could have
as a flex.
Some value, more value if Mac Jones is out. Because how much is Brian Hoyer going to be throwing the ball?
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to try to run more, probably dump off a lot of passes as well. Hoyer seems like a guy that's not slinging it downfield anymore nowadays.
I don't think he ever was.
Yeah. Damien Pierce, 18.1 points, 20 carries for 80 yards, caught both of his targets for 21 yards, did fumble twice, but did not lose either fumble. Trust or bust here for Damien Pierce.
This is what everybody was reaching on him for.
Yep.
They finally got it. 1 game.
Trusting him.
He's growing to a trust.
Yeah. Eventually, that backfield's just going to be strictly him, and then Rex Burkhead, maybe like 3rd down back. But this offense isn't going to put up points on a weekly basis, so sometimes they're going to have to abort the run. You're just going to have to live with that, owning a running back on the Texans. But this was definitely a good sign. The 20 carries, I like. The touchdown. Definitely has to keep that ball in his possession, though, because those 2 fumbles could have been costly.
Yep, 100% agree with that for sure. Trusting Damien Pierce, and just want to keep see it happening. Want to see more consistency out of him. The Bears was obviously a nice matchup for him too.
Very nice.
Chase Edmunds, 15.7 points, 44% of the snaps, 6 carries for 21 yards, found the end zone twice, 1 catch on 1 target for 6 yards. Trust or bust?
Bust. I'm not trusting.
If he would have caught that other touchdown, his day would have been outrageous. But can't give it to him, can't take it away.
Nope.
Big time bust for me. Not trusting. His snap share went down again. I think it was 51 last week and 60 some in the first week. So still losing snaps. Only touched the ball 7 times in this game. Happened to find the end zone twice. So touchdown dependent, flex running back at best.
Oh yeah.
Not a big fan.
Let's move on to some wide receivers. Devon Smith, 30.9 points, 8 catches on 12 targets, 169 yards, and found the end zone. Trust or bust here for Smitty.
He made
Trust.
me bust.
Two good weeks in a row. After week one, I don't know what you want to call that, but
fluke.
He's
That's
good.
What that was.
That still scares me. The fact that he dropped the donut, bro. I'm not.
It was AJ Brown's first game on the Birds. He was getting fed.
But a donut, bro.
30.9. Bro.
It's like harder to get 0 than it is to get like 20.
That game, the Eagles went crazy on the ground. Really, it was AJ Brown, and then there was really no one else in the air. Jalen Hurts threw for like 240 yards. AJ Brown had 150 of those yards.
Yeah.
So for the most part, that game was on the ground. Jalen Hurts had the most carries he had in that game. And Miles Sanders, I think that might have been his best game also. So I do agree towards that one being a fluke. I'm trusting Smith.
I do agree. I am trusting
Smith.
I was a little nervous putting him in my flex this week, but it paid off big time.
Big time.
Trusting for sure.
Yeah, you still took it out, but I wasn't gonna say it, but
yeah, Q had to expose me.
I'm sorry.
I had to play Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, even better duo. All right. Mac Hollins, 29.96 points, 8 catches on 10 targets, 158 yards and a touchdown. Last year we were memeing this man, and is he now a trustable fantasy asset?
Better than Devontae
He's
Adams.
getting close. He's getting close.
I don't know.
Mac
Renfro
freaking
was
Hollins,
out.
man.
It's like,
bro,
when Renfro's back, I don't see him getting.
But it's
that
bad
much
because
share.
He looks good though. Like he looks like
He
a
does
good
look
receiver.
good.
He does.
Renfro hasn't really been doing much damage either, though. Like obviously,
he's
I
obviously
expect him to be
take
better.
Targets away.
But yeah, you're right. He's definitely going to take some of that target share, and Mac Hollins might be the 4th option on this team. But I mean, still did have 11 points last week. He still has 18 targets over the last 2 games.
That's a lot.
It's a little juicy. He's a little juicy. But this team might be throwing a ton. The Raiders have not looked good, so
Yeah,
only 0-3 team.
Worth an ad
one more time.
But I'm not fully trusting Mac Hollins in my lineup yet. Russell Gage, 24.7 points, 12 catches on 13 targets for 87 yards and a touchdown. Jarvis Landry line, if I've ever seen one. Trust or bust here for Gage.
I mean, if every single receiver is out on the Bucks, then I'm trusting.
Yeah, right.
But on a regular week,
comes back.
Regular week, bussin'. Not the good way.
Yeah. Even with the wide receivers back, Russell Gage will probably do this like 2 more times throughout the season, and he'll find his way onto the trust or bust. But I don't think he's going to be consistent at all this year as the 3rd option at best for this Bucks team.
To Q, he's the 4th option.
Yeah,
he is.
I'd say at best.
Julio did look good when he was on the field.
Don't make me call him the 5th option behind Kyle Rudolph.
All right, settle.
All right,
settle.
All right. Settle down. Not trusting. If you have him on your bench, keep him there. Maybe with Godwin out for the next week or 2, if he doesn't come back, he has some flex appeal, but not fully in love with him.
Need Godwin back.
Zay Jones, a name I probably didn't think I was going to bring up ever again. 24.5 points, 10 catches on 11 targets for 85 yards and found the end zone. Trust or bust here for Zay.
Not trusting.
Yeah.
Not trusting, but that is a good sign. Like I said, this Jags offense has looked so much better than last year, but I don't see Zay Jones having like consistent fantasy value.
What number wide receiver do you think he is on the season? Like, where do you think he's his current?
26.
Like 13. Maybe.
18.
Oh my God. You guys are piping. Q was closest. It was 24.
Oh.
So he's currently a
18's not
low
that
end wide
bad.
receiver too. He does have 24 targets through 3 weeks. I'm not in love with him, but he's definitely worth a bench ad at this point. He might be the number 2 on this team after Christian Kirk. So maybe a little bit interesting. Definitely not trusting in my lineup, but I think he's worth a look.
All right.
Next guy here, rookie Chris Olave, 23.7 points, 9 catches on 13 targets, 147 yards. And he has 29 targets through only 3 games. Trust or bust here for Olave.
I'm trusting big time. He looks good.
Yes, he does. And he even looked good with MT healthy and playing. So
Yep. Trusting for sure. Unfortunately, my boy Jarvis is not the wide receiver 2 on this team. Confirmed.
It's okay.
Salty.
We told you.
At least you could admit it.
Hey, I got to accept it sometimes.
Week 1, someone's hype. He's a jar back.
I was so hyped. Olave, wide receiver 2 here, maybe even wide receiver 1.
Stop.
All right. Next one, Romeo Dobbs, 21.3 points, 8 catches on 8 targets, 73 yards, and found the end zone. Trust or bust here for Dobbs.
Not trusting, but I think more games can look like this.
Yeah. If Rodgers starts trusting him more, then I'm trusting Romeo Dobbs.
Probably better than everyone else that is available.
Well, he's sure as hell a lot better than Christian Watson.
I don't want to talk about that.
Give my guy a chance.
He sucked.
He was out this
He's had
week.
plenty of chances.
He had one drop, and it's the end of the world.
Yeah, then next week he dropped basically
like 3.6.
Well, yeah, because he's adjusting, and he was banged up in that game. He only played 32% of the snaps. Leave my man alone. Give him a chance. Romeo Dobbs, definitely leaning towards trust here. Adam on your team. This team has no real wide receiver 1. Allen Lazard could easily be taken over. It could be Dobbs season. Pick him up.
Pick him up.
If he's out there. He's probably owned in most leagues, though. Although some people were frustrated after last week.
I need a second. I have to put up this gate.
All right. See you later, gate man.
Gatekeeper.
Isaiah McKenzie, 21.2 points, 7 catches on 9 targets, 76 yards, and found the end zone. Trust or bust here?
Not trusting.
Fully trusting, but it looks like he is that third wide receiver on this offense over Jamison Crowder, which is a good sign.
I mean, I just want to say the first 2 games he had 3 targets each in each game. So like, is that something that they do? And that's like why it's scary, because like the first 2 weeks he had a total of 6 targets.
Yeah, I'm not trusting McKenzie.
I'm not fully trusting. I was one that thought Crowder would probably earn more of these snaps as a savvy veteran. It seems like Crowder's been losing these snaps to McKenzie, while Crowder's been kind of falling off. Not fully trusting by any means, but I do think he could continue to carve out a bigger role here. The rare 5th-year breakout wide receiver, like Devontae Parker all over again. Tight end, David Njoku, 23.9 points, 9 catches on 10 targets, 89 yards, and found the end zone on Thursday. Trust or bust here for David?
Not trusting.
I think I trust there.
Q, you love him. You've got a soft spot for him.
Yeah, even though he's fucked me over a couple times, but
you still got a soft spot for him.
I think he's a second option on this team when it comes to receiving, at least.
Yeah.
He was eating.
I just don't know. I think it's like Amari Cooper that I'm now fully invested in, and then whoever the fuck else wants to catch passes, but it's still going to be a run-first team. Definitely worth an ad, but tight ends are so fluky, you never know.
Yep.
Kobe just scares me. No way he's consistent all year.
Yeah. Tyler Conklin, 16.4 points. Didn't think I was going to talk about this guy after last season either, but 8 catches on 8 targets for 84 yards and has 10+ fantasy points in all 3 games this season. Trust or bust for Conklin?
He's the tight end 4. I'm
it's
trusting.
An ugly name, but you got to numbers don't lie.
Well, we can call him Tyler Gronklin.
There's only one thing that might change it up is Zach Wilson. No idea what he's going to change in this offense. Joe Flacco historically has used his tight ends pretty decently, as well as running backs catching passes. So see what Zach Wilson does. But for now, gotta keep rolling him out there. He's putting up points.
Yeah.
Especially if you drafted some of these tight ends that are struggling, like Tyler Conklin is putting up numbers. Numbers don't lie.
They do not. They never have.
Right now.
Yep. Jelani Woods, 15.3 points. Such a fun stat line. 2 catches on 3 targets, 13 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
No, you can't trust that.
Literally,
big old bust. Yeah, you like to see it. Like the rookie getting involved in the red zone, but first of all, Matt Ryan throwing passes right now is scary,
atrocious.
And second of all, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
Right.
The first 2 games he had
needs some more volume.
0 targets.
Yeah, I don't even know if he was playing in the first 2 games. So
he was. He had 9% of the snaps and 16% of the snaps.
Yeah,
he was in there.
He's on the up and up.
They're probably working him in a bit, but not trusting until I see more. Sure.
I thought he was Mo Alley Cox every time he caught the ball.
I know.
Yeah, Mo Alley Cox. Unfortunately, his fantasy relevancy days are most likely over.
Was he ever really fantasy relevant though?
Only to Sean.
He had a little bit. He had a spurt.
He was on my
touchdown
team
almost like every
times.
week.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, All right. Waiver targets. I'll start us off with Trevor Lawrence. We touched on him a few minutes ago here, but Trevor Lawrence as a whole, he's looking more confident and accurate this season. He finally has some decent wide receivers surrounding him now. I'm not going to say like a great core, but Christian Kirk and Zay Jones have definitely been reliable for him thus far. Doug is scheming up a great offense for the Jags. And if you're still looking for a replacement, like I said, Lance or Dak, guys that have went down, Trevor Lawrence, if he's out there, which he is in 50% of sleeper leagues, get out there and grab him. I like him the rest of the way. Maybe not this upcoming week like we mentioned, but I think better days are ahead for sure for the Jaguars as a whole and Trevor Lawrence. Fun fact, Doug Peterson is 5th all-time in Jags wins, tying Urban Meyer.
Jeez. Let's go.
For head coaches. So
he's
cooking out there in 3 games. T-Gods, who is your waiver target this week?
Someone we just talked about, Mac Hollins, which is weird. Never thought I'd be saying that. He's owned in 3% of leagues for a reason, but he's wide receiver 20 right now. Like last week and the week before, 18 targets, like Sean said. And since the beginning of the year, 88% of the snaps, 87% of the snaps, and 97% of the snaps. No matter who's playing, like Renfro or not, or whatever, he's still in. He's still getting time, and the numbers he's putting up, they look like legit numbers. If you just hid the name Mac Hollins and read his stat lines, you'd be like, yo, this dude's cracked. So he's definitely worth an ad, and he's just definitely worth having on your team. Little bye week fill-in. He could keep this up. The numbers are there. I'm scooping.
I think he's worth a scoop. If you got the bench room, throw him on that bench. Q. Romeo Dobbs. I don't know why I said that.
Dude.
Oh, you just spoiled.
We did talk about him as well. He did have a good game, his best game of the season, mainly probably because everyone was out, but I'm sure he is liked more than Christian Watson on the Packers, and with Sammy Watkins out on the IR, I think that more of this can definitely continue. But yeah, I think he's number 1 on this team, and he had some pretty good preseason hype, so this could now be coming to fruition.
Yeah. I do like some Romeo Dobbs. Sorry for spoiling your guy. Matt, I won't spoil yours.
I will.
Waiver target.
Isaiah McKenzie.
Oh.
Spoiler.
Is this the game we're playing now?
But yeah, that's who I'm going and picking up this week. He's only owned in 35% of leagues. Like me and Sean were saying earlier, snap count has increased every week so far, and it looks like he's taken over that slot role over Jamison Crowder. He had 9 targets this past week. It was a week where Josh Allen threw the ball 60-plus times, so don't expect that to continue. But I could easily see him being the 3rd option on this team, seeing how poor Dawson Knox has been playing. He's not really getting many targets. So I think as long as Isaiah McKenzie's out there on the field, he can be productive in this offense.
Yeah.
Love it.
Definitely think he can continue to carve out a bigger role here. Let's move on to buy low, sell high. We are now 3 weeks into the season. So there's now some opportunity to make some trades, start making some moves, start thinking about it. Might still be a little early, but some people like to trade early. So there are some possible moves out there. So let's get into it. Q, buy low, sell high. Who are your guys?
Buy low, Justin Jefferson. I'm just kidding. My buy low is Breece Hall. He hasn't had that nuclear game yet, but he has been targeted 13 times over the last 3 weeks, which is, I think it's a rookie high for something. But with Zach Wilson back, this would be the time to buy him because I think that he will finally get that RB1 role when Zach Wilson returns. He has looked somewhat better than Michael Carter, but Michael Carter is still involved. But he will be the number 1 running back by the end of the season. My sell high, I hope Gator's watching this. My sell high is Cordell Patterson. He has continued his hot start from last year. He had a hot start as well, but I think this team is not bad. I'm trying to tell you guys, especially Sean. Mariota is a good player on this team who's helping these players. He's a glorified wide receiver who's playing running back, but he hasn't even getting any targets. So his next few matchups are really rough, which is, I guess, when he will start to go down in value. So this is probably the highest you'll sell Cordell Patterson. I said it last week, but he proved me wrong and did it again this week. So Cordell Patterson, the ultimate sell high right now.
Yeah, I do agree. I can't believe Q's saying that as a Patterson stan.
I do like him.
Yeah, I was a believer I was not a believer last year. He convinced me, and I think I'm still in the same boat. I'm still not fully there. I'm selling high on Patterson also.
Haters.
Sorry. T-Gods, buy low, sell high. Who we got?
Buy low, Allen Robinson. I know everyone's still scared about Stafford. You guys weren't really with me on this one, but like Allen Robinson is still Allen Robinson. Like he's super good. He's had at least 92% of the snaps every week. So like he's in there. He's just I do think that the Rams are still like, I don't know, they're off, but like I think they're going to get it together. I think Allen Robinson is going to get his plays. Like I think they're just working him in. I think everything will end up fine. Maybe it'll take a couple weeks, longer than expected, but like I do still believe Allen Robinson will be like useful in the next like couple weeks. And my sell high is, it's not even a high. It's just high for him. Devin Singletary. Like if you're gonna get him out of here ever this year, like right now is the time. Like he just came off a 11 target week. Like there's 3 running backs on that team. They throw 1 million times a game. Like I personally, like if he's on my team, I'm getting whatever I can for him right now.
Who wants him?
Oh yeah.
Not me.
Not me.
Just kidding. All right, Matt, buy low, sell high. Who you got?
My buy low is going to be Chris Godwin. Maybe a team started off 0-3, frustrated with him missing time, could possibly miss this upcoming week, maybe a little bit more time after that. Who knows? Keep an eye on the reports. But I mean, his first game back, that first drive, he had 3 targets, 3 catches, 31 yards. As soon as he is healthy, he's going to be involved in this offense. He was an absolute monster on this offense last year. Him and Mike Evans are like 1A, 1B on this team. So I expect him, as soon as he's back, he's going to be productive. He's going to get a ton of targets. So go out and get him if you can from a frustrated manager. And sell high, I guess I got to pick one of these guys. I'll go Jamal Williams, and Swift is going to miss a little bit more time than Dalvin, it seems like. But, I mean, if someone in your league just lost DeAndre Swift and you have Jamal Williams and you can get maybe like a weekly boomer bust flex or a weekly steady flex out of it, why not do it for a guy who's only going to be valuable if that starting running back is going to be out?
Yep.
What is that clanging?
I'm telling you, it's the wire on his
wires.
I was wondering how long we would go until
I
T-Gods
can't
put it
help
up.
it. I tried so
I
hard.
got to go back and listen to see.
I know we're almost done, but I couldn't take it anymore.
All right. I'll wrap up the buy low, sell high before some trivia with Q. Q, we got trivia today?
If you got a question.
All right. I'll take a question. All right. Buy low, AJ Dillon. If you have anyone in your league that is maybe looking to move on after 7.7 in week 2 and 5.8 in week 3, please buy low. AJ Dillon's going to be someone that gets better as the season goes on, as we've seen with Derrick Henry in the past. Big running back that no one's going to want to tackle in November and December. Give me AJ Dillon all day. I also think this team's going to run a lot more as the season goes on. Bucs defense has been stingy against the run again this year. So better days ahead for AJ Dillon. Buy low now. Sell high. Got to be Greg Dortch. Cardinals. If you can sell high, like I don't know who's really buying Greg Dortch, but if you look at his numbers, if someone's like looking at his numbers and they're like, wow, 13 points in each of the 3 games. It's been very consistent volume. Rondale Moore's going to be back soon. DeAndre Hopkins will be back week 7. Zach Ertz, Hollywood are still going to be there. Like Greg Dortch is going to have to be insane to carve out a role on this offense. I think he's more of there's not that many guys right now, so he's filling in well. Also, AJ Green's still there, the ghost of AJ Green. So love me some Greg Dortch. Hope he continues to play well, but sell high right now if you can. If you can grab like a flex that might be good season long, do it for sure. Mm-hmm. All right. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Q, we'll do the question before we do trivia then. There was one other question earlier. Let's just do this one. This guy said his team is Murray, Cordell Patterson, Zeke, Jeff, Brandon Cooks, Njoku, Juju, and James Robinson. In your opinion, what do you do? Because I'm 0-3 and he has to make moves. $100 down right now. making me want to die.
Wait, what? $100 down? I guess that's the league buy-in, or
Yeah. He's also faced people that get 40+ points with one player every single week, so he's had some bad luck. Honestly, your team's not that bad.
Yeah.
I think better days are ahead for Kyler Murray. I think the running backs are where you're hurting, but James Robinson might be your RB1, honestly, at this point.
Yep.
Cordero, that's solid.
Yeah. I think it's just right now, if you can like buy low on some of the guys we were mentioning, I'd make some moves, but like you're 0-3 at this point.
That's just bad luck.
It's just bad luck. Like it's get your losses out of the way early.
It's the definition of fantasy.
So high
you still
on
have a
Cordero.
chance. Yeah, you said, sell high on Cordero if you can. Maybe get a more solid running back.
I don't know if I want to. Oh yeah. Well, if you're getting another running back, I was like, I don't know if I want to rely on Zeke all year.
Yeah, maybe get a more consistent running back. I think better days are definitely ahead for Justin Jefferson and Brandon Cooks. Jefferson's not going to be this bad. Brandon Cooks is not going to be this bad.
And I think Juju
will be a solid flex.
Improves.
James Robinson, a mix.
He's RB2 on the year so far.
I think I would try and sell Zeke on his name.
If Zeke does something big tonight,
better not.
That's a huge move you can make as well.
They're calling James Robinson the Achilles steal because his draft value, and
I like that.
No, you don't, Matt. You hate it because you're not a believer anymore.
Shut up.
You big dope.
James Robinson has a picture of Matt in his locker, and he plays for him every week. Just prove him wrong.
Yeah. One other question we had earlier as well was Vince. Does Zay Jones finish higher than Marvin Jones?
Yes.
Yes.
I would think yes as well.
Sadly, yes, but I love Marv. OG
Marv is
Marv.
like 35.
Goat. I love Marv.
He did find the end zone, didn't he? He got a touchdown this week too, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
Ingram, relevant?
4 catches, 33 yards, found the end zone. He has had a decent target share, but he's not doing much with it. Give me Zay the rest of the way.
Yeah, baby.
Ooh.
All right, Q. Let's do trivia before we get out of here. What do we got?
All right, one question today. Are you all ready?
I was born ready, sir.
All right. So in week 2, Tua, I'm not going to say his last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. He threw 6 touchdowns at Baltimore. Who are the only other 5 active quarterbacks who've thrown at least 6 touchdowns in a game? So there are 5 quarterbacks, all active, and they've thrown at least 6.
Active as in starting, or just active?
They're just active. They're on a roster right now.
All right. How many are there?
5.
All right. This is a juicy question, Q.
It is. You said there's 5?
C.
One of them's going to be a fucking wild card.
I got 2 that I'm confident in.
To throw 6 touchdowns.
6 tutties is a lot of tutties, bro. Maybe.
Maybe.
I have my 5.
Hold on.
Actually kind of confident.
I need to.
I know one for sure.
Let me think. I don't know if that was. All right, maybe this one. God, this is ugly.
If you got a minute.
All right, I still got a minute.
Minute left, yeah.
All right. I know I have, I think, 2 locks. Everyone else is kind of like, did they? You know what? Fuck it. As well. Oh, sir, dogs.
Oh. Dogs are barking.
Underdogs this week? Talker picks on Wednesday.
I like picks. I had a shit week this week, though.
All right, Q. What are the answers if the dogs are still not going absolutely bonkers? Yeah, this guy is down on his luck for sure. Definitely some tough losses, but I have faith that Kyler's going to be better. Definitely have faith in Jefferson and your wide receiver group. James Robinson's rock solid. Maybe a better tight end if you could find one, but I think better days are ahead for that squad. I don't think you're fully out of it at all.
All right. I want to get these quick before they freak out again.
Gun it.
So the answers are Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
No. Damn. How did I forget Rodgers? I got
Rodgers.
Tom Brady.
Got that one.
Nick Foles.
Got that one.
And Mitchell Trubisky.
Wow.
No fucking way.
No way he did that.
I don't know when, but that's the answer.
There's no way.
That's outrageous.
I need a fact check right now.
Josh Allen and Lamar. I swear Lamar.
I really thought Lamar as well, but I didn't write it.
Jameis Winston in there.
Winston could have been juicy.
I was thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I was like, I don't know if he's still active.
Lamar threw for 5 in like 3 games in that
trying
MVP
to find
season, but he did not throw for 6.
All right, so he did it. Mitch did it his rookie year.
Oh my God.
Oh no, he did it his second year in the league. He threw 6 against Tampa Bay. He had 55 points.
Jesus Christ. Mitch was snapping. I put Jared Goff. I was like, maybe he did in that shootout game against the Chiefs.
And Nick Foles threw 7, so he's above all of them.
Tied the record.
Yeah, I also put Carson Wentz just for Q bias. So I was like, maybe he did that one game.
I wish.
Of course you do wish. Of course you wish, Q. All right. That Jared Goff did throw 5 once also. All right. That is a wrap for the week 3 recap. We will be back on Wednesday with our week 4 preview. Make sure you use our promo code SuperFB if you're considering using Underdog Fantasy. Don't forget 100% deposit match. Make sure you're following us here on Twitch if you're watching as well. Throw us a sub on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor Podcasts, wherever you get them. You can listen to us. And all social medias at Super Fantasy Bros Podcast. Literally just Google Super Fantasy Bros, and I promise you will find us. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace.